Ichak Adizes is not a household name by any means whatsoever, and yet people who I really knew and admired and trusted, when they spoke about him with a reverence that you usually reserve for a Peter Drucker.
Dr. Adizes was just recently voted as one of the top 30 global leadership consultants by the Executive Excellence magazine.
Your methodology has enlightened our company to the lights we've never seen. And I'm proud to say that we're the oldest and largest family-owned sporting goods company in the world. And Dr. Adizes, I owe it to you.
Grupo Salinas experienced a 15-fold increase in revenues over a period of 10 years using the Adizes methodology. The Franklin Mint attained a 6-fold gain in revenues without outside equity over the same length of time.
The perfect manager does not exist. We are all mismanagers. And the greatest mismanager is the one who believes he's a perfect manager.
35 years of experience form the basis for the unique insights and methodology Dr. Adizes created to manage accelerated change in organizations of all sizes and in all stages of their life cycles. This methodology has been successfully tested in thousands of organizations, from startups to Fortune 100 companies, to governments, and in 40 countries. Dr. Adizes lectures worldwide in 4 languages, was granted a Columbia doctorate and 4 honorary doctoral degrees, and has authored 10 books translated into 30 languages. It is now possible to experience 33 of his lectures with the Top Leaf DVDs. Welcome to the Adizes methodology.
Many years ago, when my son was very young, I bought him a globe for his room. And he came to me and he said, "Daddy, why is the globe tilted? Why is Earth tilted?" What a question. Well, if the Lord did not have it tilted, if Earth was not tilted, if it was totally vertical or totally horizontal, what would we lose? The seasons. And what would happen if the whole Earth was one long winter, year-round, North Pole weather, year-round? Which animals will be the only one to survive? Only the polar bears. What would happen if a camel wandered to the North Pole by mistake? It would have several choices. Choice number 1 is, get the hell out of here while you're still alive. Choice number 2 is, lie down and die. And choice number 3, if you're smart and intelligent, you will develop a polar bear skin. So many times when you go to look at an organization and analyze the organization and you see a lot of, let's say a lot of bureaucrats, be very careful. Many of them are not bureaucrats. Many of them may be camels in polar bear skins. In order to get a complementary team, in order to get an organizational ecology, multiplicity, diversity of organisms that interrelate and support each other and fertilize each other, what do we need? We need a diversity of environment, an ecological environment, an ecological diversity. We need to tilt the globe. What I would like to present to you is some principles of how should you structure your company so that you have a diversity that enables a diversity of styles. If you don't have a correct structure, you will be eliminating or threatening diversity of styles. You will be developing a certain kind of a culture or climate in the organization that prohibits certain animals, quote unquote, certain styles to exist, and the organization will age and die because it doesn't have the diversity that it needs. Let me repeat. In order to have a complementary team, which is necessary for a well-managed company, where both effectiveness and efficiency in the short and in the long run are being addressed correctly, You need to have an organizational structure that allows and nurtures this diversity to happen. And I would like to present to you what that structure should be. But before we start, let me explain what the word structure means. Most people believe that structure is just to have the organization chart with the boxes and the lines and the dotted lines there. That's only 1/3 of a structure. It's one subsystem of a total system called structure. A structure has 3 parts to it. How do you structure responsibilities, which is the organization chart? Who is responsible for what and whom does he report to? There is another component of a structure called how do you divide authority? Who has authority? Organizational charts do not tell you that. They don't tell you whether the organization is centralized or decentralized and where does authority lie. Third part of structure is called rewards. How do we distribute the rewards? The structure does not tell you. In order to get accountability, which is another segment we discussed in this program, you need to know responsibility, authority, power, influence distribution, and the reward distribution. Then you have a structure that allows accountability. In this segment, we are only going to talk about how to divide responsibilities correctly in order to nurture and create an environment for diversity of styles that are necessary to complement each other for a well-managed company. So we're dealing only with one component, only the structure of responsibility. We have not dealt with authority nor with rewards in these segments. One thing more. An organizational structure is architecture. It takes us to like architecture of a building. You have to take into account the environment, the location of the building, the purposes of the building. There are so many variables that go into putting a building together correctly. Same thing with an organizational structure. You have to take into account the industry, the pressure for decision making, and the speed by which decisions have to be made, the geographical dispersion, the location on the life cycle, the styles of the leadership of the management. All of these are variables that have to be taken into account in designing the correct responsibility structure. We are going to address only one out of these many factors, only one factor, and it is diversity of styles. How should the structure address diversity of styles? And please realize that's not the only factor. That's not the only factor. So we are dealing with only one component that goes into deciding how to structure a company correctly. And one thing more. In order to make it simple, I'm choosing an organization that has only one profit center. So it is structured functionally. Companies should have multiple profit centers so that they are more flexible and they can change more easily with the changing environment. But that makes the chart much more complicated, and communicating the principles will be more complicated. So to make it simple, to be able to communicate the principles, I'm taking only the structural responsibility, only the variable that goes into designing the structural responsibility, which is diversity of styles, for a single profit center, functionally structured organization, which makes it very simple for the time being. Ready? All right, let's go. Here is organization chart, one profit center here, only one profit center. It is functionally structured. What would you have in this organization functionally structured? And we're not talking about whether it's young or old. This is just a template. In another segment, we will deal how do we structure an organization depending where it's in the life cycle. Right now, it is independent of the life cycle, just a template. Well, you probably have a sales organization. What is marketing? Usually people say, oh, together with sales and marketing. No, and I will explain later why no. Don't put it together. Don't have a vice president for sales and marketing. And I will explain later. Here is marketing. It should be separate. Please realize that the length of the lines have nothing to do with status. that this is a higher status than this. It is just for didactic purposes of presenting the template, the principles that I'm going to be talking about. Okay? All right, what else do we have? Well, we have production. What is technology? New technology. Okay? Process engineering, how to produce better. Okay, it is a new product development. It is engineering. Engineering, new product development engineering, okay? Also called technology, new technologies. It is up there. Don't put it together with production. Don't put it together with production. Tell you later why not. Here is accounting, the controller. Where is finance? They usually put it together with accounting. Don't. I will explain to you later why not. Here is finance. And here is legal. And here is information technology. And here is human resources. What is human resources development? They usually put it together with human resources. Don't. Again, I will tell you why not. Here is human resources administration, and here is human resources development. Now, there is a certain principle that I'm trying to communicate to you by the length of the lines. And what is it? What is marketing should be oriented towards? The future. Sales is oriented towards the present, right now. What are we selling right now? What are our quarterly results? What are we meeting our annual budget? This is looking beyond the horizon. What's happening in the future? Are we building the right markets? What are the new emerging needs? Are we addressing these new emerging needs? Are we getting ready and positioning yourself when those needs emerge and they're really viable, that we are responsive and capable of responding to those needs? That's marketing. Marketing is dealing with the future, sales is dealing with the present. Or if you already covered a segment of this program on the roles of management, then I will say marketing is E-oriented, sales is P-oriented. And let's put it in different colors so you cannot miss. How about production? The same thing is true for production. Production is now. Get the production quotas being met right now. Technology, new product development deals with the future. Excellent. How about human resources administration? That deals with the present. Human resources development deals with developing human resources rather than administering human resources. If you don't follow the code here because you did not see the segment on the roles of management, don't worry about the letters here and the colors. Simply, the lines above are dealing with the future. The lines down here are dealing with the present. That's why finance is, where are we going? Are we getting a return on investment? Where do we get the money from? Are we liquid enough? How do we manage the resources we have? It's future-oriented. Now, what about accounting? They're in the middle. What are they? They are the transformers between the future and the present. They are supposed to give us information. Where are we going? Where are we coming from? Where are we right now in the transition between the past and the future? That's why accounting usually is past-oriented. They tell you, where are we today as you look at the total results that we produced in the past? Depreciation, inventory, cost. When they give you the report as of this date, it is the past up to here. It doesn't deal at all with the future. Because the future is uncertain and accounting has to be certain, has to be precise. It does not add uncertainty to the certainty. Legal is the same thing. Legal is telling you, where are you going? Let me tell you what the repercussions are. Or if you continue with what you're doing now, what are the repercussions for the future? They are the transition between the long and the short. Same thing with the technology, information technology. Where are you going? What do you need? What kind of information technology do you need, in the present, depending on where you're going in the future? They're the transitions. They are the AEs of the system. They are controlling change. This is results-oriented, and this is future-oriented. What are the future results going to be in? Developing either the P or the I. Now, my friends, let me put it again in colors in the middle. These are going to be in green. What should this tell you already? Is there going to be a conflict in this organization? Absolutely, there is going to be conflict. And why is there going to be conflict? Because these are looking in the future, these are looking at the present, and they are going to be in conflict. How does it look like? How does the conflict look like? Marketing starts changing the direction, the reward, the discount, how are we going to sell and what we are going to sell, which disturbs the capability of sales to reach their quotas. And they usually would say, don't make any more changes, don't make waves. We are trying to, by the time we taught the clients how to buy and what to buy, etc. Now let's just go and have a cookie machine here, cookie cutter. If you don't see this conflict between marketing and sales yet, it's much clearer between engineering and production. Production will tell to the engineering people in the technology, hey guys, stop making changes because we cannot produce. You are continuously undermining our capability to produce efficiently because of the changes you are bringing. There is all the time conflict between the two, especially when you move from the pilot plan to mass production. And they come with the new technologies, new products, and the production side is feeling it is an interference, intervention, disturbance to their system, which is now organized for maximum efficiency. And how about accounting? Accounting is in conflict with everyone. And they should be. They say, if you continue going in the present into the future, let me tell you what the problems are going to be. And if you guys don't pay attention to the future and tell you what the problems in the present are going to be. They are in the middle, in conflict with both the reds and the blues. What does it really tell us? What is really the conflict here? The conflict is not between marketing and sales, engineering and production, finance and accounting, human resources development, and human resources administration. You know what the conflict is? The conflict is between the long run and the short run, and the intermediary run is in conflict with both long and short. And people don't like conflict. They don't realize that conflict can be healthy. There is no life without conflict. There is no energy without conflict. Conflict is like water rushing down the river, you know. It could be harnessed to create electricity, or it can create a flood and destroy everything. So it's up to us what we do with conflict. Do we make it a positive force, which is constructive, or do we allow it to be a negative force, which is destructive? Now let's see how we can make it constructive. No, first of all, let's see how it is destructive. Here's a typical mistake. Marketing and sales are in conflict. I don't know how to handle this, so I have now a VP for sales and marketing. And in order to have no conflict, let's have somebody in charge of manufacturing, which has in charge of him now production and engineering and new product development and all of it. Maintenance, everything. And then we have one guy in charge of all of those here, including finance and human resources, and that's called a Chief Administrative Officer, CFO, CAO, who is in charge of finance and accounting and legal and information technology and human resources development, human resources administration, all of it. The moment you have this structure, let me ask you a question. Which orientation is going to win? When you have sales and marketing together, which orientation is going to win? The long term or the short term? The short term. We know that from personal experience. When you have an immediate problem, you try to deal with the immediate problem and you kind of ignore the long-term problem for the time being because you will deal with it later. Short term always squeezes the long term out. So, by the way, that's why it's also called a vice president for sales and marketing. You will not have a vice president for marketing and sales. Sales and marketing, why? When you put them together, sales is more important than marketing. Marketing you do in your free time, later on. Whenever you put sales and marketing together, you know what you're going to find out? That there is no real marketing department in this organization. It's called marketing, but what they're really doing is sales support material, little brochures, analysis of what the salesmen have done. There's no marketing. They don't create the waves, they smooth the waves. They are subordinates to the sales, to the short term. So the company now is all P-oriented. And the moment you put engineering together with production, you know what engineering is doing? They're not doing new product development. They're doing compliance engineering, or they're doing maintenance. They're subordinates to the production. It's called engineering. Be very careful that the words really very often do not stand for what they should stand. Jokingly, I call them transvestites. They look like they're a woman, but really they're a man behind it. It looks engineering, it's called engineering, but they're not doing engineering. They're not doing new product development. They're doing compliance engineering and doing maintenance work. They are subordinates to the production. Marketing subordinate to the sales. Again, it's short-term oriented. Then when you put all of this together, I call that bureaucrats of the world unite. It becomes one big A. Why? It is all A-oriented. Do you see that? A. Obviously, this comes down to be an A2. It loses its capability to make change. Now, please realize what happened to this company. It is all P and A oriented. What does it mean? Short and intermediary oriented, control oriented, command and control. What happened to change? The company is now frozen. You know, I look at organizations like they're power boats. Power boats. If you want to change the direction of the power boat, don't stand on the deck and shout left, 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 left. You need to increase the engine on the right, decrease the engine on the left, and the boat will turn around. Look at this. There is no engine to turn the boat around. It is all full speed ahead in a controllable way. And you know what? That is not going to change. And what they say usually is, oh, this company is not changing, we need to change. So they hire a strategic planner. Poor guy, you know, and what they get is some E here. Listen, you cannot make a submarine fly by appointing a pilot to look through the periscope. So the guy says, left, left, go, do. But the engines are frozen going in one way only. The power structure causes strategy. Look at the power structure and I will tell you which way the company is going to go. Look at the engines, I'll tell you which way the company is going to go. It is short-term oriented because the structure, power structure is short-term oriented. Or they bring a new leader. Wonderful. But putting a cherry on a pile of crap doesn't make it a cherry pie. You know, it is still not structured for change. It's not structured for change. What you need to do is you need to split marketing from sales, engineering from production. You must split it. Finance from accounting. By the way, this is a major thing. They fight it, the finance people fight it to the nail. Because they say, I have to sign on it, I'm responsible for it, I'm accountable for the reports. I say, you can be accountable for reports, they will sign it, and then you will sign it, and then he will sign it, or she will sign it. All of you will sign it. But it doesn't have to report to you for it to be correct. This person will sign it and be criminally prosecuted if it's wrong. So, you should separate it. And human resources development, for goodness sake, separately. Otherwise, when human resources development reports to human resources administration, they are dead. They cannot make waves. They are in conflict. They want systematization and order. These people want change. The order is going to destroy the change. Oh my God, I cannot do it. I am the president. How can I have so many people reporting to me? Well, I'll tell you how. Here it is. Ready? Here is how you should do it then, if you have too many people reporting to you. You should have it organized by the time dimension. So to encourage and to nourish diversity of time dimensions. Here it is. I'll have a VP development. And what does he have? Marketing, new product development engineering, finance if you want, human resources development if you want, only one of those. It doesn't have to be that way. I'm just trying to make a template. Then you have to adapt it to people, to life cycles, to industry, to geography, please. There are multiple factors. I'm just trying to make one point. Separate the time dimensions. Otherwise, if you put it together, the short will destroy the long. And there is the intermediary called staff, corporate vice president, all right? Corporate vice president. And here we have the intermediary, controller, IT, legal, okay? And here we have the short term, executive vice president. And what does he have? Sales, production, human resources maybe, okay? Administration. What's happening? Now the change is integrated. All of those are change-oriented. If there is a resistance to change and they say, there is no market, the sales might say, yes, there is a market. We cannot do it, there is a technology. There is no money, there is money. We don't have the people, we get the people. It's an integrated power structure for change and for planning. Then the chances that the organization will move and change are much higher. And by the way, who should be the next president? He or she is cooking the soup he or she will have to eat. Prepare it. Prepare your future. Markets, technology, financial, people. Here is the future. Who should be the next vice president here? This person. Who should be this person? This person. Who should be that person? One of these people. Please realize in the Adizes methodology, succession is always sideways before you go up. So you look at the organization from different angles. You become more flexible. You develop all your codes, PAEI, over time. They are not compatible at a point in time, but you should be able to switch from one to the other as the needs require. And then, here it is. This is our E, this is our A, this is our P, and guess what this is all? I. Put it together. Now we have a diversity of styles, reinforced by diversity of structure that needs to be integrated, and the company is much more flexible and controllable at the same time, and thus more successful than otherwise. That was a template. In another segment, we'll talk about it, how to adapt it to a small company because they cannot afford so many vice presidents. Thank you very much.
To learn about the Adizes methodology of management beyond the top leaf recorded lecture you've just seen, we encourage you to use one of the Adizes programs, publications, and/or worldwide consulting services. These provide proven paths to obtaining deeper knowledge and breadth of the Adizes methodology. One way to learn more is by joining a Top Leaf Leadership Forum group. The group meets in peer-to-peer learning sessions, where they discuss how to apply the concepts from the recorded lectures the group has viewed, and then in subsequent sessions share their experiences and learn from each other. It is a hands-on experience under the guidance of a trained Adizes certified facilitator that can also be delivered by video conferencing. Your group can be within your company, or you can join a peer group representing multiple companies. In between group sessions, participants use our online learning system, where they can access their manuals, engage in online discussions with their peers, and research our digital books library.
One lecture from each module can be purchased and viewed online. Certified facilitators buy an annual license to use Top Leaf in training programs. Licensed files are delivered on a rental iPod video. Our curriculum is also available in Spanish.
As with all programs and services from the Adizes Institute, Top Leaf is available in several languages. Top Leaf groups are today being facilitated in foreign countries with the use of video conferencing by multilingual Adizes facilitators directly from our headquarters.
With the Top Leaf, which I joined almost a year ago, I had a big benefit from it. Really helped me in managing my companies.
Always at the forefront in techniques and technology, the Adizes Institute continues to be placed at the top of the lists that distinguish and reward for excellence. Recently, it was ranked in the top 10 Best in Leadership Development. You can always learn more by reading Dr. Adizes' books. Recent titles include Management Mismanagement Styles, Leading the Leaders, How to Handle People Whose Style is Different from Yours, How to Solve Management Crisis, Mastering Change, Pursuit of Prime, and his seminal work, Managing Corporate Life Cycles, How and Why Organizations Grow, Age, and Die, and What to Do About it. Dr. Adizes' books are available in 30 languages. Everyone now gets access to the digital versions of the books. To purchase Adizes books and DVDs, go to www.adizes.com/store. Beyond attending Top Leaf forums and reading the books for in-depth application of the Adizes methodology, Adizes offices worldwide help clients by using the methodology to accomplish rapid and effective strategic changes.
The Adizes offices exist to provide clients and those that want to deploy the Adizes program and management resources and tools more effectively. And because this is the core competence of an Adizes office, the clients are able to do so with greater speed and accuracy.
The Adizes Institute has offices in 11 countries, working in 9 languages, staffed with certified associates who have been trained for over 3 years in the Adizes methodology, and who have been practicing top managers prior to joining Adizes.
The way in which the program gets deployed, it always starts with an initial diagnosis. That's more like a self-diagnosis by the core management team. And then based on what the issues are and the unique life cycle position that the organization finds itself in, a customized program is designed.
We need a color team of styles, PAEI.
In addition, Adizes associates deliver lectures and workshops in multiple languages to increase the understanding of change management in a world of accelerated change. Certified associates have a deep and diversified professional experience base. In addition, the Adizes training and certification process is rigorous and lengthy, 3 years for full certification. Training for Top Leaf facilitation takes less time, but requires no less commitment to the core methodology, crucial to obtaining successful results. To become a certified Adizes associate or to contact your local Adizes office, go to www.adizes.com. The Adizes Graduate School for the Study of Leadership and Change offers MA and PhD programs online. Dr. Adizes is the dean of this internationally acclaimed school, as well as the originator of the Management Vitality School. The Management Vitality School offers interactive, distance learning workshops that provide high-level learning of Adizes principles to senior managers and executives. To enroll in the Adizes Graduate School, go to www.